Good evening. It's April 8th at 7 p.m. and call to order the meeting of the Southwick Board of Appeals. We have minutes. In attendance tonight, we have Paul Gregoire, member Paul Gregoire, associate member Stan Tobias, associate member Mike Parent, member and vice chairman Bill Liss, member and chairman Chris Mastriani, and secretary Wendy Cordero. Everyone is here. The meeting is a hybrid meeting, is being broadcast on Zoom and recorded on Zoom, and is also an audio recording being done. TV over there. We have some signatures to do, and we have some minutes from February 26th to review quickly, and then the only item on the agenda is a preliminary review of an application for 55 Foster Road. So once we get through our paperwork issues here, we will take up that discussion. Very familiar.
That's so good to me. A motion to accept.
I just
Second.
had
Second the
two
motion.
two
Two
comments,
questions? Okay,
not corrections, but just
Okay.
comments. It says the chairman will be in contact with the planning board regarding the property. The chairman did not do that. Because the
okay,
chairman didn't want to open a can of worms before it needed to be opened.
okay.
And a brief discussion of 2 Lakemont Street, which maybe we come before the board. Wendy says that no application has been put in
Okay.
on that, so. But those are the only 2 comments,
Okay.
nothing needed correction. So we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
Just
and second.
one comment. My recollection was the chairman will contact, were you gonna contact the attorney, or you said you were gonna contact somebody,
Town
because-
planner.
the town planner, because we had rejected the,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I consider him part of the planning board, so
okay.
I think that's accurate enough. So we have a motion to accept, and we have a second. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting minutes from February 26th are accepted. Got another copy of this that I can keep. Did you get that? But, Westfield News thing signed?
I gave it to Paul.
No, it's only 3. Needed.
Right.
You know,
Okay, okay, we have a new application for 55 Foster Road. The applicant is the same gentleman that is in the process of developing 19 Foster Road. We may remember that one being the real messy one with the trailer. Is it a trailer? Is it a mobile home? Is it abandoned? That kind of stuff, and a couple sheds on there. I noticed just recently the trailer has finally gone out of there. I don't know what happened to it,
I
but
tried to sell it or something.
I was glad to see that it was gone, because when I went by about 4 or 6 weeks ago, it was still there. So, this is a similar situation. It's a small lot with a lot of wetlands. I guess there's actually a river back
I
there.
know, he called it a river.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yes.
it's a seasonal,
Technically, maybe is.
a seasonal river or what it is, but, so we finished to the front for that, and then obviously the street is there, it's in zone R20, so the front setback requirement is 75 feet. The application's requesting a variance of 30 feet, so a setback of 45 feet would be the net on that. I have a few comments that I'll throw out there before, we just open up some discussion. This little plan that he submitted, it looks like the house is 50 feet from the street or from the property line, so I'll have to find out what the discrepancy is on that. There's no mention of input from the Conservation Commission, which I assume that they're gonna have to get involved with some other time. All other setbacks seem to be fine, side, backs, and square footage and frontage, all that seems to be okay, so it would just be this one setback that they're looking for relief on. The property line, based on the stakes that are there, looks like it's about 8 feet from the road. Just an observation, that lot is really up high from the street, well, high, I don't know, about 10 feet or something from the street.
Yeah,
So I'm curious whether he's gonna excavate through there or put the house on top and. You know, just curious what the plan is, have a short sloped driveway, so that's a question I'm gonna have. I'd like to see house plan elevation to see what it's gonna look like from the street. And then the application references this, Wetlands Protection Act, section 1058(3). I was miraculously able to find something about that and on the Massachusetts general laws, and it's one of these extremely dense type of things, but it basically says what you quoted here, that if you're within 200 feet of a river, you can you develop 500 square feet of it, or 10%, whichever is greater. That's something new to me. I don't think I've ever encountered that. I don't know if you guys.
read it back.
It says that if you're within 200-foot riverfront area, the assuming authority may allow the alteration of up to 5,000 square feet or 10% of the riverfront area within the lot, whichever is greater. So, yeah, like I'm saying, that's new to me. I mean, I'm familiar somewhat with the wetland buffers and all that stuff, but the bylaws that have been cited on here were something that I hadn't seen before.
Well, he's calling it a river. Probably that's why he's using that particular article.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's not a river.
It doesn't seem to be a river.
It's a floodplain area for sure. Wetlands for sure.
Or like.
There's a live stream back there. It's been there for years.
Well, maybe it's
a classification
So if you go into stream, then we go into wetlands protection and you wouldn't be able to get what he wants.
or an intermittent stream. of
Right.
Column.
Either way, you got a 200-foot buffer from that. Right, so, and we've given relief to that to some point, but he's looking for a lot.
Is it 200-foot buffer from the
Yeah,
wetland? Okay.
we've gone 100, we've gone 75.
So on this map right here,
Or
this
150.
map right here, doesn't that run through here, the river?
I'm guessing
Behind the house?
it's the
it's-
property line in the back, since the property line is all twisty like that.
Yeah,
I don't think the property line would be like that if it wasn't, if the
running
river
through there, yeah,
wasn't
they
the
did.
property line.
But that's approximately where it is.
Yeah.
right?
yeah, I mean,
The last page,
wait, this is what I'm
the
thinking.
last
is right here.
diagram shows it pretty
Yeah.
well.
Oh, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it kind of follows that. But all of this blue is all floodplain,
Oh, okay.
more than half the lot
Yeah,
is floodplain. And it's elevated and it's still flooded.
Hmm.
That's all you know, it's wet back there.
so
think
as a planning board, would they, you were talking about the front,
Mhm.
what if they took the front and push, took 5 feet off and pushed it back towards that wetland, you can't push that soil
Well,
back to that
that's what
wetland, can you?
that's what the Conservation Commission will have to give him relief on that side. He's looking for relief on the front side from us.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say something like that.
How much does he need in the back? By the way,
I don't know. There's no,
from our charts.
from the diagram.
he makes the point on this diagram here that the other houses, and I noted as I went down there, the other houses are very close to the street. He says this one's 35 and that one's 25.
They were built under a completely different set of rules.
Right, but one of our criteria is if it doesn't go different than the whole neighborhood.
And I disagree with that, but
Yeah,
it's up to us to consider that, but
right.
it doesn't require us to do anything.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's tough to,
So
tough to tell
what
here.
do our bylaws tell us for the rear? The chart,
Rear setback,
yeah, the good old chart,
rear setback has to be, 40 feet.
that's all.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Yeah, rear setback 40 feet.
Side 10.
Can he do that without, needing extra room up front? 40 feet?
Well, it's 40 feet from the property line. He's much farther away from the property line than that. It's a case of how far he is from the wetlands.
Yeah, well,
And I don't know exactly where the delineation of the wetlands is on the,
This is the wetlands. I thought it was 100 feet.
Like,
yeah, we gotta do
Yeah.
blue is all.
okay.
So the lot, this is this, I call it a stream. We'll say it's not a river, it's a stream,
Yeah.
but that stream is his boundary in the back.
Okay, so I do.
So
have
it's
that.
half, it's more, almost half the lot
Right,
is, so he's gotta go 100 feet here. So
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So his 40 foot's not gonna be there because he's only gonna have 100 plus.
That's all.
He's 140 feet
It says 185.
Oh, yeah.
to this,
And that's-
okay, to the buffer.
I don't know. It shows
Yeah, I know.
two dimensions there and I don't know which one belongs to
That's
that.
101, and then it's,
You know,
That doesn't scale, right?
no, it doesn't,
No, it's not.
because this doesn't either for the frontage. Right, because he only has 100 foot frontage. This says 100 and,
No, this is 200 foot, 200 frontage.
well, it's one thing, he's only got,
that's the road, I think.
but he needs 200, but yeah, so that's a problem, you know.
100.
If you follow the conservation guidelines, he's gonna have very little relief back there. Put something. He's gonna need more, he's gonna need closer to the
Probably
road.
80, 60 range.
That's the problem. Okay. I mean, I see 7, whatever the lot is next to it, that's probably, if you scale that and you look at down here. That's also, that's the house he just built, right? No,
No.
this way.
He's
Yeah.
way down there on the
Yeah.
other end. Now, just for reference,
From there to there.
the house that,
Yeah, I don't know. This
You
is the
built?
river here,
yeah, the house that we approved for,
where the wetland.
the house that we approved that for his last application at 19 Foster Road, we allowed a variance of 35 feet, so that he would be 40 feet from the
Right.
property line. So. Not that,
Why would you want to get him back when you could have shove him back?
well, we.
Give him a variance to the back end, not front end.
Yeah, but on the back end, he's restricted by the wetlands, not by the back, not by the property line.
And what you gave him, you allowed him 40 feet in the back. Not this one, the other one. You allowed him 40 feet in the back, and then you gave him a variance in front.
I'm not following, and I don't know, the back wasn't part of the variance on the last one, it was just the
Yeah,
front,
right, it wasn't.
it was just the
You said It
wetland.
wasn't, but was that 40 feet that you should be by law?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Was that into any wetland at all?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's, I'm barking up the wrong tree here, because I don't know it, I didn't work on that one.
Well, I assume we gave him that variance in the front because he couldn't go back any farther because of the wetlands. I don't know what that number was.
Yeah, but if the 40 feet was not in the wetland, I'd give them something of variance to the back and keep them away from the front. But anyway, that's done, it's done.
Yeah, these lots are all 250 feet deep, so it's not a. It's
I
not a,
think, didn't he build a smaller house because we were concerned about that, the back, how close he would come? That for some reason,
possibly.
he gave a different plan than originally. he thought.
I mean, I've written down 1,900 square feet on this, so I don't know.
Now, he doesn't have the acreage, correct?
Doesn't have one on point?
Acreage?
Yeah, it does.
He's got
No,
one
it shows
point
you
seven.
1.7 acres, but that, I don't. That's probably for the house in his lawn or something.
Yeah, there's 42,000, he has 42,800 square feet and he needs 40,000, he needs 1 acre.
All right, well, that's 1 acre is correct then. It just happens to fall into the picture.
Oh, yeah, on this diagram of his here, I think I just figured out that there's a triangle drawn in the lower left-hand corner. And it says area outside the 200-foot river front. So I think that triangle is the 200 feet
All this,
limit, yeah, from the water, from the stream or whatever you want to call it.
Show me where you're
talking here,
Yeah,
Oh, this
This-
triangle right here.
triangle in the front.
that shaded triangle.
So the highest point is 200 feet.
It's this shaded
Oh,
triangle,
that one.
Oh, okay, oh, I see.
and that's area outside of the 200 river.
So it looks like, if I could,
That's where he's needing the leave to put the house back because he couldn't put it that far forward. Right?
right,
Because if he went into that triangle where he's supposed to be, he wouldn't be able to put a house in. You wouldn't be able to put a house where this is the safe area.
Yeah.
So he's looking for the relief to push the house back, to build the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that triangle
So
there,
this is a safe area, the 200 feet buffer. He wants to get relief so he can push the house back out of it. Towards the wetlands.
So there's only a very small portion
That's correct.
yeah,
That's buildable.
okay, so, all of this back here is wetlands then.
Right. So to me, you're pushing the red line there, you've already got, you got a lot that's a problem. And anything he
Yeah.
does on it's gonna be a problem. But, I've seen the conservation committee give variances before. So,
So what's his hardship? I want to get out of the wetland,
yeah,
but
that's
then
not,
you shouldn't have bought the property.
that's not a hardship.
well, he didn't, I don't think he bought it yet.
He's under
He's on
contract, if he gets
contract
this, he's gonna buy it.
Oh,
So,
pending-
which is fine, but
pending our
to
decision.
your point, Paul, says the lot's located, the wetland's located, right, basically dramatically limits the square footage of a lot that can be used. Okay. Yeah, it does. So don't buy that lot. I mean, there's open space for a reason sometimes, and the lot's just not gonna be buildable, and, I don't see it like it's, gonna be better for the neighborhood if we stick the house in the street.
so that other one
I didn't
that,
even like the last one. I was out of that one because I recused myself because I was involved with that,
Oh, yeah, because you were involved.
Yeah.
Right.
but.
that other one that's on Hillside, I think you guys worked on.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
building. Did you guys work with conservation as in, they gave a little, you gave a little?
Well, not directly, but it
I'm
ends
sure
up,
it
it ends
worked
up
out that
being,
way.
it ends up working out that way, yeah.
Yeah.
There's never in my experience, there's never a joint meeting where you sit down and
Understood.
negotiate.
And that's part of the problem. We should have that.
The app,
I didn't know if they went to the conservation
Yeah.
first.
And they go to us, and then we say what, so the arrow point goes, like,
Yeah. That's
nothing
why-
happens unless we give them the relief he wants, and then they get to decide if they can do it. You know what I'm saying? So we give them,
Okay.
we give them the okay to go to the conservation.
Okay,
It's okay, I got relief now, will you let me put this there? They could still say no,
gotcha.
even if
Right,
we
that-
say yes.
That's why it ends up usually being, in that situation, it's
Because of-
usually at least two meetings.
Right.
You know, he comes here and says, I need the house to be 50 feet, and we say, no, we're gonna force you to be 60, so then he goes to the Conservation
Yes.
Commission and says, oh, I need 10 more feet, and said, well, we were gonna give you 120, but we're
Right.
gonna give you 110,
My-
you know, so.
My
So-
opinion on this, if this was developed, which I think we've seen those, and he wanted to add on or put a deck or something for safety, I would be more inclined to work with it, but this is a lot that has nothing. And he's asking for a lot to get, he's gonna sell it. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
living in it, so he's developing in the hardship, and he's making money with it.
Mm,
The hardship is he can't get as much money for it because he can't develop it. So
yeah,
that's not a hardship. He's in a very bad piece of property that is severely disadvantaged with water. We've had plenty of them in this town that you just can't do anything with, like, you know, like common driveway.
We don't talk about it.
But it's true. I mean, if he had a house there that was grandfathered in at some point and it got wetter because of whatever, and it's okay, I need to work with this. Oh, we'll try to help you. And now he's asking for new construction with a lot that is not qualified to put a house on whatsoever. I mean, if you need a 10-foot or 5-foot relief, he needs 40 feet. That's a lot.
No, he's 30 feet.
Okay, whatever. It's still
Yeah.
a lot
Right,
to give because he wants to make money developing it.
Now,
I-
you said it's up on a hill,
Yeah, well,
okay.
it goes back.
Suppose conservation let him push the hill back and do a little filling.
Whoa,
I said, if.
that's a major no-no of redeveloping where the water goes. You'd be changing the aquifer.
yeah, that's,
You know, you start building berms. Put a bowl. So my land is dry now. That's what they used to do.
I
don't know.
I didn't walk the property, but
I-
based on the topography,
Yeah.
that hill is not very deep. I mean, it
Oh.
just goes, you know, it's like maybe
like a-
like a berm.
It's like the new septic tanks, you know, you had like the rise. That's what it looks like,
Leach
like,
fields,
yeah, leach fields in the front.
If you
And then you
look
get to the land, but then it gets wet.
if you look at the
And
numbers
that's
on
what the
the,
other guy had to do is build his thing in the front.
Yeah.
On the side there.
Where would he put his septic if it's that way?
The other guy had to put it to the front.
Again,
side.
You know, those questions go for other departments, not
Yeah,
us, but,
yeah.
but we enter that door. For me, I got a problem opening that door to give them a problem to build something that should never be built.
Yep.
And that puts pressure on the other boards to say, well, they gave him permission, so we gotta do something. You know what I mean? If we say no, he's not gonna buy the land and it sits there open property. Buy another piece. I mean, it's cheap. Why is it cheap? Because there's not much you can do with it. And people know that. They're selling it for 50 grand.
Yeah.
That's an acre. That's $100,000 or $70,000 piece of property. They're giving it away because they know, you know, that they can't do anything with it. Put a shed in the front or a garage, that's about it.
You can't do that either.
Well, you could in that front quadrant, you could do some, but then you got a bunch of relief, right?
You're saying house plus the
That's
garage?
what I'm, not even, he's gonna do a raised ranch, so he had the garage under, that's what he'll do.
Oh,
You know, to fit it if we give it to him, because it's maximized space for living. But again, I think that's kind of making against the whole guise of we're making a non-conforming lot more non-conforming by getting relief. That's my take. Now, we've been through this with non-conforming lots with a ranch house or, you know, where they try to give them, to try to work something for them. But this is nothing, it's been developed, and why are we gonna push that to be developed? To raise revenue, I mean, tax, it's not for the right reasons, in my
I
mind.
don't know, yeah.
That's my position, but I'm one person, so I'm voicing my opinion.
I'm a half person, so you're one and a half.
I don't see the advantage other than him making money.
I guess I look at it a little bit differently in that, we shouldn't say you can get 0 variance. We should be able to say, well, we'll give you 10 feet, or we'll give you 20 feet, or we'll give
Okay.
you 15 feet or something.
You still can't build.
And say, you know, that's the best we can do, and then throw it over
Yeah,
the
so-
wall to, and see what conservation.
I'm,
does.
you can't, because even if you gave him 20 feet. He's got more, what was that? I don't know what the scale is from that line back here. It's 15, 20 feet to the back of the house.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, if you're saying, Chris, to push this up. So it gets inside that square, by giving him this less,
Nothing specific, just some number.
okay,
And say, you know, all right, we can live with a 50-foot setback
Mhm.
instead of a 75-foot setback. And let them have to deal with it, rather than saying,
Right.
no, we can't give you any
Yeah.
setback, because that sounds unrealistic to me.
My only question is, are we biting off more than is our privy? I mean,
What's the
they're
hardship?
only asking us about.
what's the
this.
hardship?
Well, they're asking us to go backwards, and they said that there's land is not buildable behind them. That's always been there.
Right,
You know,
but
I mean,
that
he had
doesn't
to go
change the
back.
topography, it doesn't change the soil condition, it's been there.
Right.
It's not gonna create any more, he can't create what he wants because he's not gonna get enough relief. To your point, if you say, hey, you can have a portion of it, well, it's not enough. No,
Well,
That's
then
not our
that's-
problem, right? That's the best we can do as a
Now I
board.
agree with that,
Yeah.
but taking off, us looking at, well, this is not gonna do it. I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
sure that
think-
Yeah,
that's our job.
I think, yeah, I agree with Mike. I think we should just decide on what number between 0 and 30. What number between 0 and 35
All
would
right.
we give him a variance for?
Where's the red line? Doesn't matter if you give him anything, or give him all of it at that point.
Yeah.
You can let the chips fall somewhere else, to your point.
We are not
But I
required. to give them
think
a
the
variance.
Conservation Commission makes that decision. Right?
Yes, but the reason it comes here first is because if we don't think that it's feasible, they don't have to worry about it. So we're just pushing it to them. At least we're gonna kick the can and say, yeah, we'll give you the dimension, you go fight out with them. And if he gets it, he gets it.
But to some extent, that's what our job is to determine whether we're gonna give them
I want,
that variance.
right, and I say no.
I know.
Or to your point, give him 20 feet,
Well, that's,
or 25 feet,
But why?
half, you know,
Why?
then what is he gonna do with it? Because he can't do anything with it anyway. Even if he got 25 feet.
He goes to conservation and say, well, okay, well,
Yeah, that's not our problem, to Mike's point.
well, if we, but if we agree to
Like
give
Chris's
20
point.
feet, then it's our problem, but.
Yeah, and what is the number? What are you comfortable with?
that's what we have 2 weeks to
Right.
come to terms.
And what I'm saying is, it's like a
Personally
prison,
think
you know, you either get parole or you don't. And what is that, we'll give you 10 weeks parole, then you gotta come back. You know, I don't know, why we would just go with all, just say, here, take your 35 feet and go,
Well,
good luck.
That's why we're having a preliminary.
Yeah, I know, I
So
know.
that we're all
But,
kind of,
yeah,
so we.
mind frame,
We cut down on the
banter,
the back and forth when the applicant is here, like, you know, at least that's how I look at the
Mhm.
purpose of it. So that we're not arguing among ourselves, and we have a little bit more efficient discussion with, you know, when the applicant comes here, so that,
unless you could tell us something very drastically different from what he's saying here, it's not a river, for one. So I don't know about that statute that would qualify,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how that's
you
relevant.
know, he's doing to push that, so we would give him the relief. That's what he's phrasing it for, but again, I'm very cynical maybe in my
I
young
don't
age.
see how that's relevant to.
Well, because he could use that statute, then he'd get more relief. If he calls it a river, he'd get more relief,
That
because
goes to the
10%.
Conservation
But
Commission.
that goes to them.
Right.
And it's,
Not us.
you come up with a number regardless of
Mhm.
whatever you bulldozes into the river. That's conservation.
So to your point, he doesn't need 30 feet, right? He needs 40. Based on. And then look at that triangle of depth that he's trying to fit into. That's a really boxed, that's a small area to develop.
I mean, the house is barely in that triangle.
That's what I mean.
Most of it's outside the.
If he gets the variance, he gets to push it further towards that triangle, get more of it in there, you know? So it's a
Wait,
chess
how much
game.
has he got now? He's saying 50 feet?
Yeah, I think it's about that, you know,
Well, that's what it says.
but he says not gonna give him a backyard on top of it, even if he gets that.
Mhm.
We just say, get a canoe for the backyard. Simple.
It's a mud bog truck she built.
Water, a lot of people pay big bucks for waterfront.
Yeah, right. You create it, a good rainstorm, you got waterfront. But I even think, in my opinion, even developing that, again, if I'm conservation, he's gonna change the water table. you
Yes,
know.
he is.
But again, it's not our problem.
So that's.
If we give him that, it's a
the house is
conservation.
That 5,000 feet he's talking about,
Yeah, a square foot because
That's what
of
he's
the 10%,
allowed to
yeah,
mow down.
so he could develop a yard with that.
I'm still on the,
I mean, I don't know what a favorable, try to, help at all, it's like, where's the line? It's 10 or 15, or 20 or 30,
Well, like I said,
is it a percentage, like we've done the size of the house of the lot, you can do a percentage of the relief, but
well,
what's the comfort that you want?
what's the?
You'd give them 30,
I
40
don't
feet?
know, something, I don't think we should get into specifics in this meeting because
Okay.
it's not a public hearing.
True
I
that,
think that, I think we should think about what our individual comfort level is. I would, if I had to throw out a number, I'd say 20 feet, 20 or 25 feet if I was in a generous mood
Mhm.
of variance. So he
Right.
would be 50 feet from the property line, 50 feet from the property line and 33 feet from the street.
So he would, with that variance, he'd be able to sneak that. Well, the front corner, I don't know about the back corner, you have to change
Uh,
the size of the
I'm not
house.
really worried about the,
Because there is a garage on there, so he's doing like a raised ranch or, a garage under something.
what'd you just say? You're gonna give him 25, or put him at 50 feet.
50 feet from the property line
Yeah.
and an additional 8 feet from the street.
So instead of 75, he'd have 50 setback. If you gave him
Yeah,
25,
but you're saying then there's another 8 feet.
That's the difference between the property line and the street
yeah,
and the pavement.
for the sidewalk.
Um,
If there is, or is there a sidewalk?
That,
Yeah,
that's not an official number. It's
Yeah.
just, it's
For
just,
sure.
if something was gonna work in his favor, it's more in
You get 8
in
feet.
his favor that it's 8 feet from the street than it's,
Yeah.
than the pavement is at the property
The
line.
street line versus the property. line.
Right,
You can have him go back and make sure he has stakes so we can measure.
Hmm.
Oh, but that costs me money, I'm gonna get it.
Conservation will want that, anyway, but, yeah, I mean. From what I see, 80 to 1, it's right there. Okay,
Chris, you're saying 25 foot variance, that's what you said?
yeah, so
That's,
That's what you're throwing out.
kind of
Yeah.
putting as a compromise to the best
yeah,
you can.
let's say, personally, I would be comfortable in giving, say, hey, we can't do 35, we'll do 25, you go negotiate it with the Conservation Commission. But I mean, it's gotta be a unanimous thing, that's my opinion, if Paul's not on board with that,
Nope,
then,
Paul is not on board, not at
okay,
all.
then,
I just got enough to hear with these guys coming in with this crap.
What's that?
I said, I've had it to hear with these guys.
Well, we can't get, every case is different,
So it's called, oh, give it to me, I'm here.
yeah,
No.
I mean, I get it,
so, can I be a pain in the ass?
Yeah,
You
sure.
wouldn't give him you wouldn't give him a 1 foot variance.
I might consider one.
or 8 foot,
That-
the 8 foot variance, give them the relief from the road.
So, I mean, the gist of our argument is that this is really not a buildable lot, right? So what you two guys are saying.
Absolutely, because the buildable lot's right here.
Did you,
Right. But I'm just not sure
Well-
if that's our privy to say if it's a buildable lot or not.
there's something.
They're asking us
It's
for
given-
a variance for the
Something we
front.
can do for that. Go see the building inspector, see what he said, is it a buildable lot?
Hmm.
That'll.
No, I agree with
Sell a
you
lot.
that he probably not
If you
gonna
got
be able to build on.
Chris, he would
I'm
be able
just
to put a
saying,
septic over here.
What are we
Yeah,
basing our decision not to give him a variance?
Numbers.
It can't be that it's not a buildable lot.
No, I mean,
Can't say
you can't
that.
give him enough to give him what he wants to get a
Right.
buildable.
But that guy in the corner down there can say it's not a buildable
Right.
lot.
Yeah,
That's for sure. That's his job. That's his job. And he can say, no, you gotta go see to get relief, which they already did. That's why he's coming to
We'll
us.
see Mr. Stephen.
all right,
So,
I'll try to contact him.
yeah, I mean, if you showed him this and said, what do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, so your road is right here, right?
Yeah.
You got 8 feet. And then if you say 50 feet, it's close. You'd be right. I mean, I don't think all of it would fit in. That's the problem. You know, you're talking about, he wants to go way back here.
Yeah, see, I'm not even thinking about what fits in where. I'm just saying, I could. If
Well,
I'm
he's gonna
driving,
fit it.
if I'm driving down the street, I wouldn't mind seeing a house that's 50 feet from the property line. That's all
Okay.
that's all I'm concerned.
Okay.
with.
That's
Every-
fair.
What everything else.
Yeah, right.
And
You can't make that work. That's his problem.
are you going to see the building inspector?
I will try to contact him, yeah. I don't know, maybe he's heard of this, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll find out
Probably
what,
not. And you didn't hear anything till the end.
okay,
Well,
that's what I wanted to
So-
accomplish, was just to get, everybody,
these are 40.
Up to speed on that.
Yeah, so everything else, there's no other aggregate for rear or anything else you fixed. I would all fit in. Okay.
okay, I don't have anything else.
Nothing else?
Motion to adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn in a second, everyone in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.